It is going to be for the video game Tales of Kenzera. Zowie. Um, what do you think about this game here, Sage?
I'm going to be right up front. This is so far my favorite new game to release this year. I love a good Metroidvania. This has all those kinds of hallmarks. Good pace. This only took me about 11 hours to finish. You're getting snappy, responsive controls, enemies with a lot of variety, upgrades at a very reasonable time interval that really make you kind of change the way you interact with the game world. Really creative and wonderfully constructed environments, art design across the board. So it's got every kind of basic thing that you want a Metroidvania to have to be worthwhile. And then on top of that, and I just want to make sure I don't pronounce his name incorrectly here, but Abu Bakar Salim, he was the kind of creative lead for this game. People might know him. He played the main character in Assassin's Creed Origins, Bayek in the game set in Egypt. But he kind of made this game a bit of a grieving process over his own father's death. And then that is the story in the game. You are a shaman whose father has died, and you are bargaining with this death god Kalunga for your father's spirit, and he's charged you with laying these great, powerful, wicked spirits terrorizing the local environments. And if you can do that, he's willing to make a bargain with you. And you can feel every moment of this game, every little bit of dialogue. You can feel how personal this is. It's one of those things that it really, really comes through. And I think if you were, a deceased family member and you were able to know that this was the kind of tribute you got, I honestly couldn't imagine having something better attributed, at least in this form of media in particular. Yeah, it's so good, and it pulls from like local mythology, and I wrote it down here as well. But it was specifically Bantu cultures and like local Bantu folk tales that they pull from for the death mythology. To tell you, if there's one thing I've learned about this mythology or these folk tales too, is that I think these cultures have a much healthier relationship with death in general than we do in the West sometimes.
Yeah. About to, and then it says, there's 30 spirits of monsters as offerings to Kalunga. Um,
Kalunga.
Kalunga there. The god of death is who that god is there.
He's kind
Um,
of your NPC companion through the whole game too. So like you are constantly in communication with this death god. Every time you get to a new area, every time you run into a different NPC, this death god is kind of like your companion guiding you through the world.
okay. And you mentioned it's a Metroidvania. You're gonna see a lot of things, like you see the progression tree here, the skill tree that you have, acquiring new weapons, new items throughout the game. What about the boss battles? How are the boss battles in this?
I really liked the boss battles in this. They didn't like one thing about the game I will say is that on normal difficulty, I did feel it was a bit easy. But except for when it came to the boss fights, I thought they had these really well put together pattern sequences that it actually takes a minute to kind of memorize and avoid. I did also for my own just entertainment, I bumped the difficulty up to hard just to get a little bit more out of it.
Mhm.
But I think the boss fights are these. Yeah, there's one right there. These really great kind of epic uh, bosses with these creatures. And they switch it up too. They're not all necessarily the same. There's one of the boss battles in the game is more of an environmental kind of chase puzzle sequence than a
Mhm.
fight even. So they even kind of keep some good variety in there too. Like this game really does a good job of balancing all of its different plates and making it all come together in a satisfying way.
Okay. And I missed it. Did you say the lead character? Did you say his name?
His name is Zhao, actually.
Zhao, okay. And what did you think about the lead character here in this game?
I really like him. I thought he's got a charming personality. He's very likable, but you can also feel this pained grief through the character. And I mean, it comes across very clearly as the pained grief of the artist. And so, in a certain sense, it's a bit of a creator's stand-in type of character. But the emotion and the loss explored through the story feels so heartfelt and genuine that I think you'd have a very hard time not kind of attaching yourself to this character.
And this is the person behind it, as you mentioned, and maybe he details that this is him introducing it at the Game Awards here. So maybe he details a little bit about the game and about uh, his passion behind it, as you mentioned before, the reasoning behind
Hello,
it. Yeah, good.
I'm Abu Bakr Salim. I'm mainly known for my acting work in Raised by Wolves and Assassin's Creed Origins. But, that is not why I'm here. Oh, okay. Sorry, no, this is crazy, man. I mean, I remember watching the Game Awards when I was younger, so being up here now is like,
What's his name? That dude, Nintendo.
The oh Reggie something I think.
Yeah, that's just like I don't know. It's
Reggie
just like a
Phillips.
weird cut to him. He just kind of looks.
Yeah, he's not really making much of an actual reaction there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just such a weird cut to him. I don't know.
look, I've loved games all my life. I mean, I played them all my life, man, from Kingdom Hearts, Gary's Mod, Golden Sun, and it started with my dad, right? He got me into them. He understood, that games are an art form. It's a great space to enjoy and escape from the reality of the world. And he passed away a while back, and I'll tell you what, I'm still figuring it out. But 4 years ago, I decided that I needed to try and process my grief in a way that felt true to me and him. So I took the biggest risks of my life, and through everything that I had in making a game, a piece of art that honored him, an ode to the people we have loved and lost. So, so the reason I'm here tonight is because with the love and support of a lot of people here, I'm going to take another big risk and I'm going to show you what we've been building. No, I'm going to offer you this game, a game from my old man. I hope you like it.
Mm. Yeah, very very nice from him there at the Game Awards. And how long is this game?
It said 11 hours on my file once I'd finished it. But I do want to mention I did have one game breaking bug a little ways into the game where a fast travel point that was supposed to spawn did not. It was right after a boss fight, and you're like stuck in this area, except for this fast travel point spawns, so you can leave and kind of return to the other hub areas. And that
Mhm.
just did not turn on for me. So I had to play a couple hours of the game over again. It wasn't a huge deal. It wasn't like it wasn't like I lost 20 hours in an RPG or something like that. But it did glitch for me that one time. Luckily, I enjoyed playing the game so much that having to go back through that first chunk honestly wasn't a huge bother.
Yeah. So it says here. So when focusing on the main objectives, the game is 7.5 hours in length. And if you're a gamer that strives to see all aspects of the game, you're likely to spend around 10 hours to obtain 100% completion of it.
That
So
sounds about right. I had about 90%, 92% on my save file at the end.
yeah. So there is that. And what did you play this on? Switch
This I
or
played this on the PlayStation 5, which I believe this is available on all platforms.
yes, it is on Microsoft Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. If you have the paperweight X and S, hey, break that out. Get it from under the coffee table. Download some, Tales of Kenzera, pop it in there, and play it. And this game is it's at a good price point too. I think it's only what $20.
Yeah, only $20.
Yeah, so that's good. A lot of good gameplay. A good, classic Metroidvania style game. $20. You get a good amount of gameplay out of it. 10 hours there if you really want 100% it. And you said it's a very good game. Good boss battles, good story, good writing.
Yeah, yeah. This really kind of fired on all cylinders for me. That I had that one glitch, and that's kind of really my only big issue with it. Other than maybe again, just I bumped the difficulty up just because I did find it a little easy on its standard difficulty. But they've got difficulty options, so you can solve that problem pretty easily. I also want to just commend the visuals and the music one more time. I mean, the art style really jumps out. Super vibrant, colorful, a lot of really cool kind of purples and blues in a lot of spots that are just used really really well. And the music has this kind of cyber. It's kind of that a little bit of that Afrofuturism kind of feel that you might hear in something like Black Panther, where it's got a mix of these traditional instruments, but then it's also got this kind of cyberpunky electronic thing going on as well.
Okay, very nice. So the music is pretty good. All right. Any severe negatives for you with this game besides the glitch that
Really, really, that's it. Honestly, I don't have much bad to say about this. This was a great experience. My right now my favorite game I've played so far this year, and I'd give it a pretty much yeah high peak. Honestly, only not higher because of the technical issues.
Mm, okay. Very nice. I imagine probably the budget on this probably wasn't too high on this game, probably.
No, it's very indie feel. It is published by EA. EA has a like a division of called EA Originals where they will publish some of these smaller games sometimes, and there's a few good things that come out of there every once in a while. And this has honestly got to be one of their best.
Yeah. It is out right now. Sage gives it a peek and says, "Go ahead, grab it. Grab Tales of Kenzara right now." All right. So that was Sage's review for the game.